Not expect this going like
Good
that.
morning, everybody, and welcome to the Conscious Living Show. I'm Patricia Hamilton, and we're an online channel for dispersing and sharing information and interviews with people who are making a contribution to the transformation of our consciousness in all areas, whether it be health, environment, or spirituality. And today, I've got the pleasure of talking with Tony Marsh. Now, Tony is an aura photographer, and I've known Tony for many years. He's been a regular exhibitor with us at Conscious Living, and it's the first time that I've actually had the opportunity to sit down and learn a little bit about how important and how the aura and the photography of an aura can give indications and help people with being more in tune with themselves, accepting themselves more, or learning more about where they are in life. So, Tony, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, that's good. Now, I'm fascinated because you told me earlier that you discovered aura photography when you went to visit a festival, and you had...
I did.
Yeah, and you had a photograph taken.
I had a photograph taken, and it wasn't what I wanted it to be. So I looked into it and thought, well, if I'm like that, how can I improve things? So I looked into the photography thing, which got me into the spiritual side of things, and I learned a lot from that, and then decided that I would like to be able to take photographs for other people.
And that was about 20 odd years ago, you said?
That was, I actually had my photograph taken in 1995, 96. Got my camera about 18 months later. Right.
So let's start by talking about the aura, because obviously some people will know what we're talking about when we speak about the aura. But perhaps you could just give us a little bit of an explanation of what that is.
Your aura is a vibrational frequency that comes out of your body, and we all have it, and we all do it, and it comes out of your body in special places, like your feet, your hands, your ears, and quite a number of other smaller places. These special points, acupuncture points, these are the places where people like reflexologists work on, especially your feet, but they do with hands as well. And the camera has a sensor plate that you put your hand on, and the sensors line up with the acupressure points in your hand, and the vibrational frequency from particular parts of your energy come out of there. Each vibrational frequency has a representation in color. Therefore, the machine registers the frequencies and then translates that into color. And then that color is then applied to an ordinary photograph, Polaroid photograph. So it's fascinating the way it was done. This technology is over 20 years old now. It's probably 25, 30 years old now. Invented by a chap. Well, I don't know if he invented it, but my camera is from a chap called Guy Coggins from America. He's an electrical engineer, but interested in the spiritual side of things, and put both together in the Aura camera.
And so let's have a look at a photograph, shall we? And just to show people, because it's a photograph of the head, isn't it? And showing the colours around the head.
It goes down to probably mid-chest most of the time. And this is one. Is that the right place to put it?
Let's just move it over here a little bit.
All right.
Okay. Now, do you want to talk a little bit about what you see in that particular picture?
Right. This lady has mixed colours, and which is not that unusual. A lot of people do. This lady is very logical in her mind. And she also has the violet colours down the bottom.
So the yellow is related to
colours of the intellect.
The intellect, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then she's also got violet.
Yeah, she's got violets down the bottom, which is a very spiritual colour. She will use her intuition considerably. The logic from the yellow will clash with that. So she is often arguing with herself. She will confront a situation where her intuition will say do this, and her logic will say no, do that. So then she must decide which way she's going to go. Right? And it's a case of good luck with that. Yes. So other colours mean various colours.
There's some green in there as well.
Green in there. Green is a healing, teaching colour. The colour of green on the photograph means that she is projecting that colour, that energy. You project from the right and you accept from the left, and basically the middle is where you are at the time. But this lady, from the looking of the tone of the colour and the quality of it, she's a teacher. Right? So to be a teacher doesn't mean you have to go to school and be a teacher. Teaching comes in various forms, even by example from you to your children.
And so what I'm wondering is when people come and they have a photograph taken for the first time, do they discover aspects about themselves that perhaps they weren't aware of before? That when you do the interpretation?
When we do the interpretation, and you must remember that I've backed off a little bit from doing the interpretations. We have ladies who are trained in this come into the stand and they do most of the interpreting. But to tell somebody about themselves, sometimes it's a real wake-up call. Sometimes you can see there's a light globe go off. I call it the ET finger. So if you remember, ET came over and brought the plant back to life. Sometimes you can see something click with people. Something you've said, it's clicked with them. And all of a sudden, various situations in their life make sense. And it's not just necessarily with how they're relating to other people. It's how they're thinking within themselves. And it's a lovely thing to see.
Yeah.
Not with everybody. It's not an everyday event for us, but we do get it from time to time. And that's a huge reward for us.
And we were talking about how the body emits light and how when you see these beautiful colours around in your auric field, it really somehow changes your perception of how you see someone. So yes. I thought that was a very beautiful aspect of the photograph, because you are not judging that person by their appearance or by their personality.
No.
But you're tuning in and connecting to them as a light being, in a sense.
In a sense, yes, definitely.
Which I think is really positive, because, it's taking us into more understanding and connection with our multidimensional nature.
Yeah, everybody has this auric field that young children, especially young children, see it. This is why you'll often get tots come home from kindy and places like that, and they've got pictures of mummy and daddy, and there's various colours there, and these children are actually seeing that.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and what happens is that we don't talk to them about it, and they just think everybody can do it. They don't talk about it, and eventually they grow up and turn into people like us. We just don't bother to look for it anymore.
Yes. Yeah, we rely on technology now.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
But you can see people with colours around them in paintings, for want of a better word, and you can see them that have been done hundreds of years ago. Usually in churches.
That's right.
Yes. So
Yeah.
You go to the old churches, and there's always somebody there with a halo,
Exactly.
but they have other colours around them. Yes.
And so, do people's auric fields change over time?
Your base energy changes slowly. It does change. None of us are the same that we were years ago, but moment by moment stuff. It's called a deep layer and an upper layer, and the upper layer is moment by moment stuff. Right? Bang your elbow, you're not as happy as what you were 2 minutes ago. 5 minutes from now, it doesn't hurt anymore, so you go back to being how you were. So yeah, and your core energy that we call it is it's your life experiences that's made you who you are. Your core energy is you. So yeah, it's easy and difficult to explain. Your core energy is things have happened. You've answered questions in your life. Why do people do this? Do I believe in that? Am I going to be this, and have I achieved what I want? All of this is your energy and who you are. Basically, saying who you are is the best way to describe it. So some people are cynical, some people are happy, some people just drift along, some people are very determined. A lot of this is your life experiences that have turned you into that person. And sometimes, well, not sometimes, often we get a photograph, then we get an interpreter that looks and tells you what they see and what they know about you and what can help. So, yeah. And sometimes helping people when that light goes off, that's really good.
Yeah, and that's what you were saying to me earlier, isn't it? That the joy of providing this service to people is that you are helping people to perhaps love themselves more, accept themselves more.
Yes, very much so. Very much. Yeah. A lot of people just will not accept what you say, and they're challenges that they must resolve themselves. We don't get offended at that. If we say this color is black and you say no, it's white, then we're not going to try and convince you, right? It's up to you to find what color it is. So,
and you've got another one there of a young 12-year-old.
Yes.
Is it a girl or a boy?
It's a young lady.
A young lady.
Yes.
Let's have a look at that one, because that was really beautiful. I think
I've been silly enough to put it somewhere else.
Oh, that's okay. Let's have a look here. Is
that it? No.
You say you mostly have 90% women, did you say? Come we'll have photographs.
1 in 7.
1 in 7 is a male. Yeah. But is there a difference between men and women?
Not really. Men are better at shielding themselves, and often a man will come and he's there and he's got a lot of red on his photograph, but that's basically he's just hiding or putting up barriers. Some people want to come for a photograph and say, yeah, I want to know what it's all about, and they just unconsciously put up a barrier. Often the barrier is red. But red takes on lots of different meanings. Harsh, brittle red is somebody that's not happy with themselves or the world. Sometimes you can get a soft red where people are open yet tentative. Is probably a good way of putting it. But yeah, and this is.
And also, you were telling me in relation to the red color that shows up, for the physical aspects of the person. So
very much so.
For example, if they're not drinking enough water, then it's going to show up in the prevalence of red coming into the photograph.
It's not just water. If you're not looking after yourself physically, it will affect you physically, and red is a physical color. But there are other aspects of being slightly dehydrated in other energy parts, other colors. Sometimes you can get a yellow, which is a color of the intellect, and that's people who are very, very logical.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not looking after themselves hydration wise, the yellow can be a little bit duller.
Mm.
Yeah. So, and yeah, I think, well, I know that a lot of the colors come across and they all have different meanings. But if you're not looking after yourself, the color tends to dull.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And you mentioned people who meditate regularly, and do you notice that there is a difference in the auric colours of someone who's
yes,
a long-term meditator?
yes.
Mm.
Yeah, their colors will, well, they're more at peace with themselves for a start.
Yeah, and that would be
It comes across as blue
mm-hmm.
going into violets,
Mm.
right? Occasionally we get a hint of white, but that's somebody who has gone a long, long way down that path.
Mm.
Really good. But yeah, yes, some people are very active, and yet they will spend some time each day, being quiet. You meditate, you can be quiet. Just take up a book that you enjoy and read and be quiet, and you can see that blue is a healing time for them. Right? So yeah.
So all in all, would you recommend that people come and have an experience of having the or a photoed and photographed and having the interpretation? Do you think it's beneficial?
It will be beneficial for some or most, but not everybody. We're not all the same.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said earlier, a lot of the people, they come along and they're just curious, right? And they have no real expectation. They just want to know what's my color.
Mm.
Other people come back on a yearly basis because they're undergoing a program themselves. It may be study, or it may be just self improvement, and they may come back after 6 months. Do have a number of people come back after 2 or 3 months, but I don't advise that. Even though I'm saying now, don't come to my stand. I'm saying to you, after 2 or 3 months, you
It's
can't have changed, right?
Yeah.
If you're trying to do something, the type of thing that you're trying to do is, yeah, it takes time, right? Yeah, definitely, it takes time. So 6 months is a minimum period, right? Coming back next week, just no,
Yeah.
doesn't work.
And also the other the other piece of information you were sharing with me is that there's a short supply of the actual photographic
The film,
film.
yeah, the camera itself is just a Polaroid camera,
Mm-hmm.
which you must buy film for, and it's attached to this thing called the biofeedback spectrometer. All put together, it's an Aura camera. So what's happened that Fuji in Japan, just over 18 months ago, stopped making film. And they were the only ones in the world that made the film. So whatever film is left, that's all there is. Once we've run out, there will be no more film.
Wow.
No more film for Aura cameras.
So you've got a certain amount of of stock left, which you'll be having available at Conscious Living Expo in October.
Yes.
So there's a bit of urgency, isn't there? If you haven't had an Aura photo and you're interested, then come along to Conscious Living Expo in October and make sure you have your photo done, because you may not be able to next year.
It's possible. It all depends how busy I get, but basically it just comes down to zero, and that's it. There's nothing else you can do.
Wow.
I do believe there are people around the world looking into how to make film, but it's a very expensive process to do it. and therefore you need a big turnover to make it worth your while. But these days, everybody's got a digital camera.
That's right. Yes.
That's why the demand for film isn't there,
Mm-hmm.
and why Fuji stopped making it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't worth their while.
Mm.
There are quite a number of cameras in Australia. I think as a round figure, there'd be 20, 25 cameras in Australia, maybe somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 in the world.
Wow.
Well, Europe has a lot. The Americas have a lot. The UK, and there was a lot in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
But people have just plain run out of film. So
Mm.
how many there is now? There's all these cameras in the world. Who knows how many of them can work? Right? They're just sitting in somebody's closet now, waiting for somebody to invent something.
Yes, yes. Well, look, I think it's a great opportunity to have this experience, and I'm looking forward to having one myself because I haven't had one yet.
Yes, I was thinking about that.
So, Tony, you'll be at the Conscious Living Expo October 25 to 27.
Yes.
And if anyone's interested in other events that you have available in Perth, you can visit do you have a Facebook page or a website?
No.
But look, the best place to find Tony is really at Conscious Living Expo.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be, especially this year, we're doing a very special event, and it's all about raising our vibrational frequency. So what better way to see the evidence of that than to have an aura photo taken?
Yes. Yes. We'd love to be able to take a photograph and just give some guidance to some people.
Yes.
Right.
And that's what you love to do, isn't it? You love to serve people in that way. And and people are really needing that right now, I think, with all the changes that are going on and disruptions. So it's a very comforting and confirming experience to treat yourself.
You must realize too that it's not just me in Conscious Living.
Mm-hmm.
There are three ladies in the stand, and they are the main interpreters. Right? I have lots of things to do. I'm busy in the stand. You could say that I'm just the button presser, but the three ladies that interpret the photograph, they've all been doing it for a very long time.
Very long time, yeah.
Yes. Right. We actually have one lady comes all the way from Kalgoorlie every year to do it. So,
yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. Well, look, thank you so much. It's been really fascinating. I've really appreciated the time we've had together, and we'll look forward to seeing you in October.
My very word. We'll be there with bells on.
Okay, and thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Okay, stay well.